that everyone was here with cigarettes, and I was confused because I was expecting coffee.
Yeah, understandable. How have you been?
I've been alright. How about you?
Not too bad. Busy, very busy. It's I think I've done more work in the last 2 weeks than any of my 2 weeks in office. It's so much happened at once. So
really?
Yeah,
Is it all political or personal?
Everything. Everything. So.
Well, I don't want to, in that case, if you want to take a break from it all, you don't have to talk politics.
No, yeah, no.
How are you feeling?
I am excited for tomorrow, like being off Wednesday, so I'm gonna take half a day tomorrow and then just like relax.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you say something on the phone about Edgar?
Yeah, I'm at Parsons, it's like for crazy people. I said I was thinking about Edgar because,
Oh, is that why you're here? Just to think about it?
No, I didn't meet with someone earlier. I thought of this spot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got confused because, from what I've heard, it seems like I don't know. It wouldn't be the craziest thing if I heard you were meeting with Edgar.
So how have you been?
I've been good. I built a little box fortress on top of the bridge between the hospital and the parking garage because Mumbles wasn't around and I got bored. And now that's my meeting office.
That's nice.
It's very cute. It's like a little castle, and it's got ramparts and everything. So
okay,
it's nothing useful there. What I wanted to talk to you about. Oh, go take that.
Hey, what's up, May? Are you okay today?
Aren't you around a little bit early there, Frost?
No, this is like the middle of my shift, because I'm shift
I don't know
one.
why you're harassing me now.
I don't understand what I'm not harassing you. I was just catching up, seeing how you were.
I get it. You're upset.
Okay. I'll be honest. I really want my job back. Okay. Me and my wife, Ruby York, at home in Nightmare. She's still a police officer. She's threatening to leave
in a meeting right now.
I've been fucking fired. I'm getting sued. I want my fucking job back, Mayor. Kangaroos and shit. I was wondering if you could help, Cam.
I'm in a meeting right now. Can I call you back?
Yeah, mate.
All right. You take care. Bye.
Not a good phone call?
Oh yeah, this is all day.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, all day, meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after this legislation. In the mornings now, I don't even post up my yellow page number. I sit there for 2 hours trying to get things done.
I've noticed that your yellow page number's not there as much.
Yeah, it's been real bad these last 2 weeks.
Yeah. I always feel bad calling you because I always assume that you have like 10 things to think about, at once.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to talk to you about mostly, and feel free to say you don't feel like talking about it because I'm really not.
No, don't sweat it.
It's perfectly fine. Yeah. But I know I was talking to Archie about this, and he said that I should talk directly to you because you're more hands-on with it. I just wanted to kind of get the lowdown on the prison legislation situation, purely because yeah, exactly. That's why. You don't need to give me the lowdown, but I just want to make sure that the reason I care a lot about this one, just because I was DOC, of course, and also when I was DOC, even a lot of the lifers kind of felt that I was the only person that they could talk to, and I became kind of their, you could say the lifer Lorax, I speak for the lifers. And since then, and for the past 3 or 4 days, I've been getting back-to-back phone calls from every single lifer, asking about the prison legislation and about whether their rights are going to get taken away and whether they're going to get their right to vote back, which I think they should. and what's going to happen.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that that their voices are being heard as well, and that the DOC voices are being heard. And I totally trust that you are making sure of that. But I just want to, I want you to know also that if there's anything you need help with that, and or any situations with that, or meetings that a lifer liaison perhaps would be useful for, I would love to make sure that they're, that they get what's best for them.
So there's a lot to unpack here. So I'm gonna kind of hit some topics high level, and then feel free to like dig into them. You let me know how much you want me to dig into it, because this is it's very, very packed.
Right.
The Marshall and DOC legislation I contested about 2-3 months ago.
Right.
And that is because Director Angel tried to usurp power from both the police departments and then just put a bunch of dumb shit in. That's what resulted in a lot of shit happening, right? This is around the time that, Pred got into office and, all that kind of stuff happened. Governor came in and da-da-da-da-da. And just for clarity, we never called them in. Literally, the justices sent him it because they were conflicted since they had signed it, and he came in for resolution. Since then came the V3 document, which you may or may not have seen yet. That is a culmination of the DOJ still sitting on their hands for the last 2 months, trying to finalize on it. That V3 document is the legislation that describes how new legislation can be proposed and how it can be removed, right? This document that is now being put out, so as a part of the agreement that I made with Weiss and with and Arcadia and Company, was that they roll back all of Angel's legislation, which was part of this Marshall and DOC thing, because it was like our audit was like 15 pages. And instead of sitting down and arguing about things that they had no awareness of, right? Are we going to argue on behalf of people that aren't here anymore? They roll it back, and anything that they need, they can, add it up. Yeah, they re-legislate. Yeah. Exactly. So they agreed. And so then came these 3 pieces of legislation that dropped on the desk literally the day or the day after me and Mumbles got back in office. Now, I want to start by saying it seemed a little strange because there was an agreement that the mayors and the justices would meet once a week. Of the 6 justices, only Arcadia has been showing up. And so there already was a little bit of a, like, how are you going to tell me we want to chat and then you guys are never around? You skip the meetings and then you drop 3 massive pieces of legislation on our desk, like, right after the election, right?
Right.
Here's the next thing. And these are going to be the big bullet points, and you let me know how deep you want me to go into it. And by the way, if I sound exhausted trying to talk about it, don't, that's just me. Don't, take it any kind of way. You deserve. You need to know this more than anybody else. Don't feel like this is you're like pulling teeth out of me.
You need to rest more than anybody else. I know. So
you need to know this stuff. So don't if you got any questions, listen. I will expend the energy.
I appreciate that, Nino.
So, and bear with me too, because this is a lot of information, so I have to dig through my mind for it. The first thing is Scotty and the DOC had already contested this legislation. The reason they contested it, not the new one, the old one.
The Angel one?
Yes.
Okay.
They contested it the day before the justices proposed the new legislation. They were contesting it on the basis that they believe that they should not be operating under the marshals.
Right.
All the justices still push the legislation forward.
Can they do that? Did they just ignore
No.
the protest? Okay.
No, it's
right,
actually,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's actually, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Princess. Like, I genuinely was like, I'm being honest with you, right? Is I genuinely wanted to impeach them all.
Right.
The reason I'm not doing it, and I think this is the more fair assessment, is I think they're just a little too stupid for their position. And what I mean by that is, imagine the highest power in law ignoring the law.
Right.
Like, democratically, through the systems that exist, the OC goes and says, we're contesting it. And they're like, well, you know what? We were already working on this, so skip. Like, that doesn't make any sense. How do you... they're losing trust, right? Like...
Well, that's exactly what happened with the Kyle situation when they took away his keys without an impeachment hearing. You know, they just kind of ignore parts of the law.
Yeah, it's so the reason I bring that up is that was what Scotty brought up to me. I'm still pissed about it. I am waiting to ask them, are they here to be justices or are they just figureheads? Because they need to get their heads out of their ass on that, right?
Right.
Because I don't want to make their life harder, but if they're gonna make life hard for everyone who lives in San Andreas, I'll show them what that looks like, and I got no problem. I will say, and this is important to point out, that not all the justices think this way. Arcadia, I believe, wanted to do it the right way, but I think she may have been out voiced.
Okay. Yeah, Arcadia does seem like a good one.
Okay.
For the most part, she's done some things that have made me angry, but, you know, that's okay.
I would say at least she's present and you can talk to her, and she's not a random signature that may or may not be actually doing anything. You know what I mean?
That's true. And she's reasonable.
Yeah, agreed.
Right.
So
that's all bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It is. So. Any questions about like that before we go to the next one?
No, I understand that part. You were mentioning that with Mumbles yesterday or the day before about Scotty. Right. That's unfair.
It is. However, that's kind of, while I'm going to definitely speak up on his behalf, I think he should be doing what he should actually be pushing for impeachment or whatever and bringing light of day, right? Because I can't fight everyone's battles, right? Instead
he's dressing up as Mumbles with Ratchet and taking pictures of them with other people dressed up as me so that they can put photos out on Twitter saying that Mumbles is cheating on me.
Yeah, I think people are just afraid of like
doing good things,
doing what they need to do to protect their own rights. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, to move to the next thing. So the next thing was that I found a lot of holes because the way that it was conveyed to me is all that they are doing is, I'll call you back, Peters. Yeah, is it emergency?
You never fucking call me back. You never call me back. I called you like 6 hours ago.
I literally called you 3 times, and you had already gone to sleep to do whatever the fuck it is that you're doing.
I haven't been sleeping. I don't know what you're talking about.
I did go to sleep.
Kind of weird that you're assuming
42.
that I went to sleep.
It's not.
I wasn't.
I run your fucking police department. All I need to do is make a phone call, and I know who's on duty and who's not.
But did you?
I actually did, yes.
You listen to me. You give me a call back when you're done.
I swear to God,
shit.
I will make Cassidy.
I will make
the
you
fucking
speak
chief of
correctly.
police. Right the fuck now.
Oh my goodness.
Don't you make me, because I will. You pussy bitch.
Understood. All right, call me back.
Goodness.
All right. That's a good little boy. All right.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Okay, continue.
The way that it was conveyed to me, and I think you can see the conversation as well, was that all they were doing was separating the director role from the justices, right? And that was not the case. So that, once again, makes me feel a certain way because it seems kind of like it's kind of sus now at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if have you seen all the comments my team has put in there?
On the emails or on the website?
On the document?
Oh no, I haven't yet.
We pretty much commented on like 70% of that document. So much was altered. Like so much.
Right.
And I'm not trying to be a dick here, Princess. Like, please keep in mind, like, I'm trying to be as like fair as I can in my commentary around them.
Right.
But like, they can't, like, if they're gonna tell me that they only changed this little thing and that's like not true, either it's they're that severely incompetent with like the English language and their job, or they're lying through their fucking teeth. Like, I don't know what the third option would be.
Right.
So I'm trying to play fair. We gave them good comments. We did convince them to put a pause on it. Once again, I think Arcadia has been working with us. I don't know the opinions of, and Falconer too. I do not know the opinions of the rest, right? I don't know if they're like fucking Weiss or like Hart is like puppeteering and being like, go, my dear, Arcadia, go and make sure they're happy and we will force this in. I don't fucking know.
It does sound like supervillains when you say it like that, yes.
Yes. Go and make them think everything is... No, we saw... There was a lot of issues. Please do when you get a chance. Take a look at the comments in there and look at what the edits are.
I don't know if I see the docket. Like the document on the docket. But I don't know if I have the document itself.
Can you send me an email? I'll give you a copy of it.
Oh, yes, I can do that.
Be careful with this thing. This is for the mayors only and the justices only. And this is so that because like think of it like we're internally communicating, and you know some of this doesn't need to get out.
Yeah, of course. I'll be careful with it.
All right. I'll give you a second to open that up and take a look. Some of these things have already been resolved and some of the language has changed, but I'll give you a second to kind of like...
I feel the comments, yeah.
Yep. Feel free to like slowly peruse through there and like poke at anything that you got a question on. Nino.
Mr. Nino, I have a question.
No, Ratchet. I got to talk to you soon, yeah?
Okay, I'm back.
I just,
Listen, you the mayor, man. You don't have to explain this, yeah?
No, I appreciate it. I gotta go.
Oh, okay. Keep your head up.
I will. Try my best. I'm not actually sad. It's just easier than coming up with a new excuse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, the meeting excuse works sometimes. Sometimes you use other ones. I understand that.
Well, the meeting excuse makes people think like you don't have time for them, but like if you just start sagging, then they're like, oh fuck,
Oh yeah. It's smart. Okay, just out of curiosity, and I might have missed it while scanning through this. Is there anything about whether the inmates can vote or not?
That is the judicial powers document.
Judicial powers. Wait, what do you mean?
That's a different document. This is the marshals and DOC.
But it's got the prisoner bill of rights.
Wait, does it?
Yeah, the bill of rights for prisoners is in here.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Yeah, and I know that was. So is the right to vote? I remember that got taken away during the prior election, because I guess that was part of the document that Angel put forth, and so when you guys went through and repealed all of those, Arcadia basically said that because that document wasn't there and had never been ratified, I guess, there was nothing that said that the inmates could vote, so the lifers couldn't vote during the last election.
Yeah, I will say that I think Arcadia's got the right sense on this. And it seems like the machine known as the justices are because that should have just been pushed forward. You know what I mean? Someone could have just came to you or me. Well, I mean, before that, me or Pred, and literally got it back in.
I tried to get through to people with that, but it was that was so it wasn't like no one knew that had been that the right to vote had been taken, because it wasn't directly stated at any point.
Yeah.
That they couldn't vote, but the Angel's document said that they could, and so when that got repealed, it got assumed. I guess Arcadia assumed that meant that they could no longer vote, but no one said anything about them not being able to vote until the day that the election already started. So they only found out that they couldn't vote when they suddenly didn't have ballot boxes, and then were told, well, you can't vote this time around, and it was too late to do anything about it.
Understandable, yeah.
Yeah, and I see all of the comments and everything. I assume that you're in talks with DLC about things, because I know DLC has some strong opinions about, well, the marshals and the DOJ kind of taking over the prison.
Yeah,
and I would agree with that. There's definitely been situations, especially recently, when the DOJ has taken over control of the prison and done things that are absolutely not not just.
And this is where things get really cooked, is that it goes back to my point originally is, do you have any food and drink by any chance?
I do, yes.
Oh my god, thank you. This kind of goes back to why I kind of give you the background on this, is this document is making changes that go beyond what they originally stated.
Give it to you.
Oh.
There you go, though.
Beautiful, thank you. This kind of goes back to why I'm like, kind of like, I feel like either they're lying or like something is happening, because this document made so many changes.
Right.
One of the big ones being like, I don't know, the certain wording makes them seem like they have more powers than they do. And there was a lot of, trust me, bro, we're not going to abuse it. I'm like, the person that literally put you guys as justices did abuse it. So I don't know if I'm going to trust her disciples until you show the people you can be trusted. And beyond that, why would things not be written in a way that's clear for everybody who reads it, past, present, and future, when we're all gone? Right?
Oh, absolutely. And you know that I personally have plenty of issues with unwritten rules, because they have bitten me so many times.
Yes. Actually, I used you as an example. You know what I mean?
Really?
They're like, they're like, oh, yeah, but that's not going to happen. We can da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, no. Like, I still believe to this day what happened to you is still fucked up. And I would argue that, okay, so one of the things in that document literally says that they can deputize people, but they have to prioritize DOJ. And I'm like, why would judges and justices be deputized?
Right, that doesn't make any sense.
Like, hello?
Do you know if, I heard this from someone, and I don't actually know if it's true or not, and maybe it's just a rumor, but I think Seamus from DLC told me that when the big riot happened at the prison, where, the marshals showed up in tanks and stuff, they said, Seamus told me that he thought it was Arcadia and Weiss driving one of the tanks. Do you know if that is true? Because that's crazy if it's true.
Wait, say that again?
Seamus told me, because he was sitting on a ridge near the prison watching it happen after he got suspended by Arcadia, which is another whole thing.
Okay.
But he was watching the riot, and he said that it looked like driving the tanks were Weiss and Arcadia.
She told me Weiss was driving it.
If Weiss was driving it, I mean, still, I think that...
was shooting the
head of the marshals.
Yeah.
But still, they don't have DLC training. They don't have...
exactly!
The training to do that.
Yeah!
They were apparently shooting missiles at the prison towers, which
yes,
is not
I brought that up.
To do.
They're like, what? Like, I was like, why are you firing rounds of, like, fucking, what is it? Like, 5, like, I don't know how big the... tank rounds at people. That's like so cooked.
Yeah, that's crazy. And they were apparently firing them both in the prison and at sports cars driving past the prison.
Oh my god. Why are people so why does it feel like people can't be honest and are afraid? Why do they want... I don't understand. Why don't judges just do their fucking job, which is interpret the law?
It's unfortunate because they're meant to be unbiased and interpret the law based on how it is written, but instead they're always going to be biased towards their own benefit, and that's just... it's a problem. No one is going to act in a way that it goes against their own benefit unless they are extremely altruistic, and you can't expect, unfortunately, for all of the judges and all of the justices to be that way. But yeah, I also, you know...
Okay.
I don't think that situation should have occurred where the DOJ just, you know, took over prison. And also, when they suspended Arcadia Grayson, indefinitely suspended Seamus because he said something to Suki, which arguably he shouldn't have said. But if anyone who knows Seamus knows that he says this kind of thing, you know, as like kind of a joke, or he's like, oh, I want to kill someone. He said he was like, oh, I want to kill Arcadia Grayson. And he said that to Suki, his best friend in confidence. She snitched him out to Arcadia, and she indefinitely suspended him immediately. And as much as I think, you know, with proper channels, sure, maybe that's worthy of suspension. But the fact that it happened the way that it did was just... I don't think that she should have had that power.
So, I don't disagree. The problem with the current judiciary is... oh my god, you ready for this? Actually, I'll tell you what's wrong. Look at the line that says how the director is chosen. And I want you to read that, and I don't want to put any ideas in your head. I want to see if you see what I saw.
Give me a second.
It's the line that says the SASM is
I
led by
it.
a director.
Yep, unanimous vote. Yep.
I want you to read that full paragraph out loud, and then I want you to tell me if you see anything wrong with it.
All right. Do I read it in the voice that your old lady voice? Because that sounds like that would be right.
Oh, no.
The SASM is led by a director appointed by unanimous vote of DOJ justices. I assume not the pink part?
You can read the pink part, yeah.
Outside of the impeachment process, which applies to all government officials, removal of the director requires a majority vote of the justices, and the new appointment requires a unanimous vote of the justices. This structure eliminates potential conflicts of interest by separating judicial oversight from operational leadership. It doesn't, though. DOJ justices maintain direct oversight through unrestricted access to SASM reports, operations, and assets. How is that separating conflict of interest when they're choosing it? What? That's confusing. Or I guess it's not, but it's just not true.
Yep.
I think that it creates a conflict of interest.
Yep. There's another bit. Read the first line again.
CSM is led by a director appointed by a unanimous vote of the DOJ justices.
Yep.
I mean, I assume that the problem you have isn't that it says Department of Justice, because it, you know, like ATM machine.
How do 6 justices unanimously decide on a singular director?
That's a good question. And then if a majority...
The only way that starts to happen is, well, if they're already cooked, I look at that sentence as a mask-off moment. 6 justices all agree on one director? So what? Did they all hire each other in through the same politics? Is there a reason why Grayson with an A was never made a justice and someone that hasn't been around for 3 months was? McNee? Where did McNee become a justice? Oh, right.
Well,
he's the
that's
one that
interesting.
signed Kyle Pred's search warrant and then hasn't been seen since. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? So.
Oh, yeah. It definitely seems like a little bit of, yeah. No, they are, what's it called? They are, you know.
In what fucking world do 6 justices sit down and have an agreement on a pool of, like, of applicants? It doesn't, it's cooked. But anyways, I'm going to wait to say that to their face because, you know.
Yeah.
I want to point at the things that you were immediately concerned with.
Right.
The right to vote, that isn't in there, but that should be pushed separately, right?
Okay.
The bit in there about DOC being under the SASM, that is something Scotty should push. I'm supporting of it, but I don't want to misdirect this document, right? Because that'd be adding something to the document. It's going to add more. You know what I mean? That should be a different attack.
Right. And also, it's unfair to put that on you, considering how much you already have to do for your own county and everything. You're already trying to fight the state on all of its injustice, you know.
Well, it's kind of the problem, right? Like, I don't mind doing it, but I'm the bad guy for a reason, right? And because
criminal mayor.
Criminal mayor, exactly. Well, you know what's actually funny is one of the marshals used to sell guns and was in prison for 6 years.
Oh my goodness.
Half of the PD currently has criminal records or is dating a criminal. So where the fuck did I become a criminal? You know what I mean? But my point
I'm a
is,
felon, apparently.
There's also like, that is true. My big thing here is like I can only fight so many battles, and also as of recent, I fought people's battles and then they've fucked me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I understand that.
Like, you know, there is that fear, like I fight for Scotty like tooth and nail, and I'm like this and that, and I'm getting this and that, and then all of a sudden Scotty goes and tells someone, yeah, no, actually, I didn't really want that. Like, you know, I don't know why Nino's pushing it so hard.
Right.
I couldn't tell you how many times that's happened, Princess. Like, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I can see that. It's all, you know, people will be opportunists always.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I know that at least a lot of the lifers very much want Scotty to be taken away from his position.
Oh.
I don't know if you know about the situation where Scotty left one of the lifers shackled while they were on a fishing trip. Accidentally left her shackled near the water, and she fell in and died because she couldn't swim to the surface. The lifers lost all of their faith in him at that point, but I've also been told stories about, you know, him forcing lifers to eat chalk as punishment for things and stuff along those lines. They say that, you know, he's an interim warden, he shouldn't have been the warden this long, but no one else wants to take the position, and so he's kind of been stuck there.
What the fuck?
Personally, I think he's, you know, he's good at what he does, and for, you know, for someone who's willing to do it, it's rare to find someone, you know, who is both good and willing to be warden. But I can, you know, I want to also respect the information given to me by the lifers, and I can understand their issues with him. I mean, considering he basically, through negligence, killed one of them.
Me and Scotty have a negative history.
Oh, really?
He called Moss the chief of cadets on their first day, and yelled at him in a way that very few people have heard me yell.
Oh my goodness.
Because I don't stand by that kind of bullying.
Yeah, no, I can understand that.
And he was so scared. His little pussy ass ran to Justice Angel. Mommy, 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 this mean guy's doing this and that. And I was asked about it, and I said, Scotty, to my fucking dick. If you want to go harass someone who's willing to take on one of the hardest challenges in the city and not show support, let me ask you, how the fuck are you sitting justice? Are you in government when your main concern is fucking politics? Worried about that your little castle's gonna crumble. And he voted against me. He's rallied people against me.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is I still think Scotty is the best person for the DOC, regardless of what our past may have been.
Yeah, I mean, I've always admired your ability to put personal issues aside, you know, for the betterment of the county and the state.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, again, and like I said before, Scotty literally made some fake images of Mumbles cheating on me to try and ruin his rep. But still, unrelated to all of that, I think that there's other reasons why maybe it's time for a little bit of a change of warden.
Yeah. I'm not like pro or I'm not I don't disagree on the principle that you're bringing forward. I think I'm sort of like, I like Scotty. Here's the problem though. While I don't disagree with you, it's ultimately the DOJ's authority.
Right. Exactly.
Oh,
well, and also
my
it's a difficult...
God.
What happened? What happened? Oh, are you pacing?
I'm going to tell you something, princess.
Okay. What was that?
Technically, me and Mumbles can legislate that.
Oh. Because of the common law thing?
Because if him and I sign the DOC, you know, voter act, we could make
it becomes
voting.
Common law.
It becomes state law. Yeah.
Right.
However, that is something I haven't touched yet at that level because I'm gonna be honest, it probably take 3 terms for it to go through.
You planning on doing another 3 terms?
No. It would take, like, I'm just saying the option is there. It's just, it's,
that's really
we would have to
though.
prove why it is our right because right now DOJ believes that it is their right, and I don't think they have the aptitude right now to actually recognize why it's not necessarily the case.
Nino, can I talk to you about something? I've been telling certain people this, and or at least I've been thinking about it a lot. Actually, it was Weiss who brought it up to me, and I was surprised that he, for once, I kind of agreed with him. Do you think that the division of the 2 counties is beneficial to the people?
No, because the BCSO operates under self-interest, and the heads that run that over the past 6 months worked with people like Angel to ignore the Constitution, the legislation, ignore what people wanted, etc., etc. So until that cancer is removed, it's not going to change.
And you also have the issue that Blaine County is not self-sufficient, and inevitably will hold less power and less people than Los Santos County, and yet has the same authority.
I don't have a problem with that, honestly.
Here's my issue, and this is an analogy that I think maybe you'll like. You like gambling?
Yes. I used to.
Okay. Well, then I'm sure you know, with a roulette table, right? The way the casinos make their money on a roulette table is when you put down money on black or red, it feels like you're putting down on a 50-50 chance.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not. You're actually putting it more down on like 45% because there's the two little green guys.
Mm.
And so you think you're putting it halfway, but you're really not. So either way, if you go red or black, you only collectively, if you put one on red and one on black, you still wouldn't have 100%. You'd have like 90. And the way I see it, that's what DOJ has done by dividing, or by the division of the counties. Not saying that was their intention, or anyone's intention, but basically, you are the red in the roulette wheel. Mumbles is the black. Collectively, you guys don't have as much power as the House. And by the House, in this case, I mean the DOJ.
Oh, no, we do.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, I think I proved that the last 2 terms.
I mean, I think you've done fantastic work, Nino. And yes, I agree. I think it's...
The DOJ functionally has no power. They just think they do. And when they try to cross into the realm of trying to take power from the people, they will learn very quickly.
That's interesting. I mean, and I suppose they're still they've got their little bits of land.
Yeah.
But
well,
okay.
they don't.
It's good to know.
So let me explain it like this. The state officials, specifically the governor, came in and explained things very clearly, to which Hart stated, agree to disagree. I want you to...
That's not how that works at all.
That's not how that works. Yep.
Yeah.
And then Weiss came in and acted like he knew what the fuck he was talking about, despite not being here for those meetings, etc. So some of these people are operating under what is copium, right? Until reality hits. Now, as per the way our legislation is written, there is Blaine County land, there is Los Santos County land, and then there is state land. State land to be watched over by like the marshals kind of heading over it, which I think is very reasonable, right? But that doesn't change the fact that the land, the people, the San Andreas, the state can collectively through referendum push whatever it is that they want.
Interesting.
And so if the people decide that they want to see a more independent DOC operating side by side with the marshals, that can happen, right? I think what currently exists isn't that it needs to always exist this way. It's just when things were first enacted, it made sense for the DOJ to oversee the marshals and the DOC as a state sort of level oversight.
Right.
But the DOJ constitutionally only has oversight of the SASM, not the DOC. That's not in the Constitution. So that can change. And even the Constitution can change. But the question that should be asked is that something people truly want? And how much effort is it going to take to change it?
Yeah. I think more important than changing anything is writing things down. Because I didn't know any of that, Nino, and I think that you have the benefit of 2 terms of this, and I'm sure that you can, I'm making a guess, but I'm sure you can corroborate that you know so much more now about this than you did when you came into your first term.
True. Yeah, that is true.
And the information is, I suppose, the information that you have is the green guys in the roulette wheel. Without that information, it's impossible to, if someone else were in your position, for example, someone else were the mayor, who doesn't know their own rights and the rights of the mayor, it would be very easy for the DOJ to just kind of overrule them with by just saying that they have the power, and it's only thanks to your, all of the work that you do to make sure that they are not abusing that power.
Yeah, you are correct in what you are saying. You are right. But I think it's because this is the first iteration of an economy where those that have legal knowledge are in control. Because if someone is ignorant to even the director was ignorant, right? A lot of her crash out was thinking that she couldn't be touched. She refused to understand that every person in this city can challenge anybody's authority and anything that is written down. And that was a wake-up call. While I would say that a lot of these things that I'm talking about, the 6 months did help, but it's also because of the amount of effort that myself, Michael, etc., put into like understanding what the Constitution truly says and deriving it. It's hard to write all those things down. You know what I mean? I don't think they can be. It's
That's true, but I'm sure you would agree that there's a little bit too much that is unwritten at this point.
100%, 100%, and I think that's something that I think would be good to do this term. Is that like my office and Mumbles' office? Let's see what we need more thoroughly cleared out, and let's get it in writing. I will tell you that a lot of the justices do not like that. And have been like, this is so complicated. No, it's not. You need it clear and crystal clear so that then the next person doesn't get screwed.
Right. And another issue is trying to write things down, even if you're writing down things that are already true, if they haven't been written down before, then it comes across as you're, for example, if you're saying anything that may, limit or explain the powers and the checks and balances, if it hasn't been written already, then it's very easy for people, and by people I mean mostly the justices, to see it and think this is new legislation and therefore we need to contest it, or we need to figure out whether it's constitutional, when it's already true, it just hasn't been written yet. How do you write things down without having them have to go through the whole, put them on the docket as legislation, and then both of us do common law and all that? Right. So it's essentially creating new legislation that just outlines things that are already true. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think a good way to think about it is like, where are there areas of potential lack of clarity, or where are areas that consistently are being misinterpreted, and then expanding either the legislation that exists or writing new legislation out. I will give you an example of something that is exceptionally immediate, and I was shocked that even Faulkner didn't pick up on this. The judges changed the judicial powers legislation to say that they can write quote-unquote case law at the end of a court case. I'm going to give you an example. That there was a court case with Future Hendricks, where hot gun charges were dropped.
Right.
Faulkner and Arcadia felt they had to quote-unquote fix it for the PD. So they were going to take the case and make it so that hot gun laws exist now through case law and not based on the verdict. It is not their job to fix things for people that ask them to fix it. That's my job and Mumbles' job. That's called legislation. It's not case law. Case law is X, Y, and Z circumstance happened, and based on X, Y, and Z and the interpretation of the law, this is the ruling. And now that is precedent. And now that ruling, and based on the X, Y, and Z, if those X, Y, and Z happen again, then it's always going to be this or that. That's case law. They tried to write legislation and call it case law to backdoor changes because of PD crying.
That's interesting because I remember Arcadia long before this. Arcadia said to me, because I was talking about precedent for something, and she said, we're moving away from precedent. We're not going to use that anymore. We're going to use case laws. And so unless it's in case law, it doesn't matter.
Arcadia is nice, but she's like a fresh attorney. I'm not trying to be a dick. And even Faulkner has his holes. Like,
yeah.
I had to explain to them a very, very basic case law by definition is based on precedent. It's case law. It's based on a case. Like it's in, I don't, oh my God.
Right. Well, I didn't know what she meant by that at the time because
it's in the Constitution.
Exactly that. I thought that she was just, I didn't realize what she was saying. But now that if she did an actual case law like that wasn't even related to the verdict, but was an attempt to fix the verdict, that's exactly what she was talking about, is this idea that she wants to replace precedent with case law and basically say, even though this precedent was set, we're going to make a case law to change it because we think it needs to be changed.
Yeah, that's cooked.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, the judges don't even have a right to change the penal code.
Right.
So, I got a call earlier today from Faulkner talking about fines and times and this and that. And I'm just like, one of these days, because right now I'm kind of letting them do it, right? Because I don't, whatever. But one of these days, they're gonna learn penal code is technically like legislation, and even that's gonna be. Because the thing is, like, all these things can change. They're just refusing. Look, at the end of the day, they're Angel's disciples, and Angel corrupted their mindset. And instead of them going and like learning what the Constitution says and learning what the law is, they're going based on a false dichotomy of what our law says. What they should be doing is coming to me and Mumbles and be like, let's have a meeting on this. Hey, da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we're getting this feedback. But instead, like think about it. Why would cops go to the judges and cry? They should be coming to me and Mumbles.
Yeah. Well, the judges judged. That's what they did, and then that's over. That's how that works. Yeah, that's... Nino, I have a question. Why, with all of this being the case, what has prevented you from thinking the only way to fix this is to completely restructure the system? Because you're working under the system as it is. You're working with Angel's disciples, and obviously, or at least it seems to me that you'd rather the situation
work with them
be different
than to fight them. Yeah.
Well, you'd rather, yeah. But if it were as easy as a snap of the fingers to totally change the, to have new DOJ and to have a new system where things are clearly outlined. It seems to me, and I don't know, I'm fairly new in terms of, I haven't been here to watch a lot of
listen,
the
you've been around
things.
long enough. Like, yeah.
In terms of mayoral things, I've only experienced you as mayor and Kyle. I think I experienced the tail end of Andy, maybe, but I don't even remember that. But from what I've heard, it seems like a lot of prior mayors have restructured the whole system, essentially created a whole new government, and it hasn't worked. And so the next person tries to recreate a whole new government, and that hasn't worked. And now it seems like a lot of things aren't working, but people are too tired or perhaps risk averse, or perhaps, just have weighed the pros and cons and decided it's not worth restructuring again.
Are you saying, why don't I fight to restructure the entire system?
I guess I am, yeah. Do you think it's effective in the way that it works now, where it would be
it's
like...
It's because I don't have the energy, is what it is. You know what I mean?
But do you think it should be?
I'd have to think on that. I don't like to I don't like to ever weigh too heavily on something like this without like giving it enough thought.
Right, of course.
But I would say that the justices that exist are at least open to feedback and open to learning, right? And this is why I like Arcadia and Volcano, right? And I'm not trying to be a dick when I say like they don't know this or they don't know that. I recognize we live in a society where being ignorant is seen offensively, right? I don't like.
Right. Well, it's
they
specific
take it.
knowledge.
Yes, everyone's got specific knowledge, exactly. And they're willing to engage in discourse. They're willing to compromise. They're willing, even Weiss is willing to compromise. And because those things exist, I rather, continue to work what is there, right? I have to be recognized that this is what we have, and how do we make it work? And if there was talk about a entirely different system, it is indeed possible. We have that authority. There's not enough of the right minds to do the work necessary, and it's too much work to get past that line. You know what I'm saying? It's too much.
That's what it seems like to me. I agree with that because
I was thinking about running for both counties.
Really?
Yeah, last term. And then I decided,
So that's really interesting to sort of unite them? Or have it be one?
I was going to, yeah, kind of. I did it because these dumb fucks. I was going to do it partially out of kind of. I thought it was very annoying. It was very annoying to me that that they put the exact same ballot up this time around, which was dumb because it should have never been like that, and they just lazily put it back up. And they also let Bones, you know what I mean, put a thing in for both.
Yeah.
Like it was just like like it's like playing fuck games, right, on important shit, right?
That's absolutely true. And the whole, residency thing, that's the big issue that I have with the two-county system, is because if you're, there are very few residents of Blaine County. And so to have people able to vote on either, people will just inevitably vote on whichever race is more contentious. And then you just end up with a system of, everyone who lives in Los Santos and voted for Blaine County mayor because that was the more contentious race, has essentially no right to have any, at this point, they've got no right to complain about anything that happens that the Los Santos mayor does because they chose not to vote for that. But realistically, they should have had the opportunity to vote for it. And it doesn't make sense for people to vote in Blaine County. I don't know. It just seems like the Blaine County mayor is a lot more about, like, events and doing whatever. It seems a lot less serious than Los Santos, which has all of the people in it.
Yeah, I feel like instead of focusing on the most important things to advance things forward, I think my advice, Princess, is you're going to find a lot of holes in what exists. And the holes exist because, remember, for the first two terms, we were dealing with some dumb fuck with too much power. And a leg of government that was more interested in punishing Pred than allowing the city, San Andreas, to move forward, right? And the moment they didn't get what they want, they just fucked off, right? And this is going to be the first term where I think we can start making progress, and it's important that it gets done one step at a time, because the house is still, like if it was a house, yeah, sure, some of the foundation is there, but there's still a lot of studs and missing walls.
Yeah.
And so
I like that way of thinking about things, though. That this is the this is the time to start working towards growth because we no longer have to till the soil. You know, now we can actually start watching the plants grow. I really appreciate you giving me so much, you know, advice and information about all of this.
Yep.
Because, you know, I see you as the ultimate authority on this. Like, oh my goodness.
I am the ultimate authority, princess.
No, I mean, at the very, very least, you know, knowledgeable. You are an authority in terms of your. I don't mean, you know, I don't mean you're the dictator of the state.
I know. It's funny you use the phrase ultimate authority though.
Oh, okay.
That's
you know.
It's used to be what Angel used to say about the DOJ, and
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah, and like they had it all in the document. Ultimate authority is like, yeah, it's it's just funny.
Then, yeah, I did not mean it like that. I meant.
I know.
meant you
it's
know
funny
everything.
though.
That is funny. I want to tell you that if you don't run next term, or whichever term coming up you don't run, I plan to.
Oh shit! Okay.
I think that, you know, it's about time. I've been wanting to run for mayor for, like, ever since I kind of started learning about what was happening with Kyle, and I didn't want to, you know, well, to be honest, I didn't want to run against you because you are both a powerhouse and very hard to run against, and also I really like having you as mayor. You're fantastic. You get a lot done.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, that's the best. You are the best thing for Los Santos right now. And as long as you continue to, you know, be the best thing and decide not to retire or something, which honestly, I don't know how you've managed to avoid that so far. It seems exhausting.
I think it's the notion of like wanting to make sure that things are at least up to a certain quality before letting the next person in, because it goes back to what you said, right? Otherwise, the DOJ is just going to eat up whoever's there. Right,
and that's why I've been trying to learn as much as I can from you, and you know, and as much as I'm part of Mumbles' cabinet now, and I was part of Kyle's cabinet, but throughout all of that, I think you are the one who has taught me the most. You know, experience is one thing. You know, my own experience is one thing, but I feel like getting your opinions on things is better than anything that I could find out by myself. You know, you have all of this. You're a wealth of knowledge. You know.
Yeah.
And I hope that that reassures you in some sense, rather than worrying you. That, you know, if you decide to you know, take a well-deserved break at some point.
Yeah.
I hope that I can reassure you that, you know, there will be good hands at the very least running. And I will try to continue everything that you have done and use what you've given me.
Hell yeah.
You know, important. I know it's early. I know we also, you know, there's no way of saying what is happening at the next, how many months are left? It's like, it's 2.5 or something.
For your own good. Now, I want to be, I'm excited for that prospect. For your own good, a big part of your success is right in front of you, and that's the picking of the sheriff. And
yeah.
I think I've tried my best. Oh, I know, and I think while I did want to convey my opinions, I think that's important for Mumbles to hear. At the end of the day, you know, he's about to hit a very tough decision, but quite frankly, if he picks poorly, it's gonna have bigger impacts than he realizes.
I totally agree with that, and I. It's difficult. We were talking to Raditz yesterday, or the day before, about how no matter who the sheriff is, if they want to do anything that involves change, the entire department can hold them hostage by just saying we're going to work group 6 instead. And
but who cares?
well, that's the thing, right? Is that I think at this point we have enough.
Blaine County is not going
now.
to have any. Wait a minute. Hold on. Only Bell and McNulty sometimes, and what's the other one? And Jimbo are up there. So, damn, that sucks.
Oh, is that the people who are?
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, I thought yes. I can tell you that I believe that Mumbles is down to 3.
That's good. Yeah.
Yes.
I will tell you right now, though, if Cassidy becomes the sheriff, it's going to be fun times for Nino Chavez. Because that man is impossible to work with.
Yeah, the most unfortunate part about that is that everyone in BCSO seems to just absolutely adore him.
No, they don't.
No, they really do. It's crazy. I know, because LSPD
let me put it this way.
Hates him. You have said, you hate him.
I don't even hate him.
Civilians.
I want to be very clear.
BCSO all rallies behind him like he is some sort of deity.
No, he's the same reason for Bones, because him and Bones disappear. You should pull. Actually, don't even take my word for it. Pull your county's accounts and look at how many hours he's put on duty in 6 months.
I don't even know how to do that. But
just request the county accounts. Don't even take my word for it.
Okay.
Look at Bones. Look at because what happens is they give the kids the keys, and when they're around and there's a problem, and it's not that I even hate Cassidy. He literally has like a issue where, of the 3 times I've spoken to him, he just immediately crashes out.
Yeah.
So there's not even a discussion. I would take Ventura. I know Ventura's got issues with me, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? He's like, I would love to see Ventura over. Ventura's like 10 times better because at least you know what the fuck is going on with him. Cassidy's just like has like a attack. Like he has like, I don't know what happens. Like psychologically, it's.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be.
This is what happened with
down
Peters.
to optics, I think.
This is what happened with Peters. There was an issue where like, I forgot. I don't even remember what happened. There's a report that needed to be made. Peters went in his MDT, and he made a report, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it said like something Ventura, right? I don't even remember what he did, but it was like it was bad, and he needed to make a high command report of it. He hadn't even written a sentence yet. And I know this because I remember being in the vehicle with him, and he was just like so cooked that like you could hear the exhaustion. I'm like, bro, just like fucking chill out, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't take all this.
Yeah.
And he saw Cassidy's cursor, because I don't know if you know this, but the PD, they can see who's looking at it. This guy had opened it up. And then Cassidy called him. And Cassidy's like, why are you putting in a fucking report, Peters? Like, like if you have a problem with my people, like, and Peters is like, I'm just putting up a report of what I saw, and then we can discuss. And he goes, nobody likes you. And you're subhuman. Like subhuman trash or some shit. And we're just like, what the fuck? Second interaction. You know what? I'm not gonna go down this route. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Yeah.
I see what you're saying, though.
Yeah. There's no. Yeah.
Yeah, and.
You know what you and Mumbles should do? Don't take my word for it. Have Cassidy, if you actually are interested in him, bring Cassidy into a room with Peters and Moss and be present there.
Oh, goodness. I don't even think I want to be in that room.
And just have them bring up a sensitive topic, PD related. And just listen.
Put one knife on the table and see what happens.
You don't even need to. You just have to listen to the conversation happen.
Oh God, that sounds awful.
It's like a child having a temper tantrum, right? There's no logic. There's no. It's just like you're just sitting back, like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like, type shit. So.
Yep, I think you're right, and I really don't want to have to experience that. But you know, I'll bring it to Mumbles and tell him that if he wants to, he can, you know, experience hell for a 20-minute period.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to do, I have to like protect the LSPD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with restitution fees and all that other stuff.
Do you think? I think that, you know, just based on what everyone else has said, I'm pretty sure they've already just completely given up on him.
Oh my God! Thank fucking God!
No! I'm not.
Thank fucking God! Oh Jesus
Christ! No, I wasn't.
Christ!
Wait, no, I have to.
Oh my God! Thank fucking God! San Andreas. I will.
I have to break your heart, Nino. That I wasn't talking about him.
Oh, with who?
With Peters.
Oh yeah, no, Peters would have been awful up there.
But I well, yeah, just because they don't like him, you mean?
Peters in a different time would be great up there, and I think he would thrive, right?
Right.
But Peters is too much of a stir.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what it needs, right?
Well, that's the thing is, you know, I think what Mumbles is basically choosing between is, do we do what BCSO wants, but no one else wants, and give them everything they want? Because BCSO is very much like, you know, old guard style attitudes, where they say, we've been doing this for years, you can't tell us what to do, we know how to do our police
we will
work,
quit, etc., etc. Well, I'll tell you this, I'll make your life easier. If BCSO isn't playing ball this term, I will make them play ball legislatively. So, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like as a worst case, let's say Cassidy gets picked and he starts doing dumb shit. Like, suspects are being jumped on, like prize money brought up, like, and expectations in Los Santos County aren't met. You know, I just start passing legislation that makes them do what I need them to do if they're operating as a sub-authority down here.
Right.
You know,
right.
and
that's not.
And then he's just gonna and then it's gonna end up problems, right? I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I
see that for what it is, which is a very you know, you are a kind man, Nino.
Yeah.
And that was a very kind threat, essentially. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean,
no, it's not.
Mumbles,
I have to protect the county, right? Like,
well, right. That's what I'm saying. Is that you know, and what I see at the basis of that is, if Mumbles chooses someone who cannot work with Los Santos County and cannot be, you know, cannot provide what is necessary.
Yeah.
Mumbles will not just have the citizens to contend with; he will have you to contend with, and that's a powerful thing.
Yeah, and I look, I all I want is like, and that's why, like, I even pointed out at Aspen, right? Like, for me, Aspen is at least. I'm sure she does snarky shit, but so do Moss and Peters. Like, snarky is expected. You know what I mean? But at least you can talk to her like she's a human being and not a fucking God knows. Like,
and I'll tell you,
like, it'd be nice if, like, these kind of things, you have the chief and the ass chief there. You have the, you know, Aspen and, you know, someone who's not a dumb fuck, and, like, the mayors, and we, like, I don't know, talk about the thing and compromise, and you know, and then the next day something happens. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
our other issue, and I'm gonna tell you this. This is, you know, I don't know how much. I think this is mostly under wraps for now, so don't go out and tell anyone. But a lot of what Delver is interested in doing with the BCSO is things like he wants to have every BCSO officer that gets on duty for a week is required to fish up 3 pufferfish from the Alamo Sea, because there's an overpopulation of pufferfish. It's an invasive species. They're doing bad things to the environment. And it's so easy to do. It takes like 5 minutes. But it's kind of amazing.
Oh, man. Oh, my God.
Delver's great.
No, I know I am. That's why I'm laughing. I'm just like, you're going to get them to go get fish? All right.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, and Delver's reasoning, and I think it sounds like kind of fantastic reasoning, is if they won't even spend the 5 or 10 minutes that it takes to get those fish, if they won't spend that time in Blaine County, then why are they in BCS?
Delva's my favorite friend now. You know what I mean?
He's amazing.
I agree. I agree. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what I want my PD to be too. Like, I want them to be like, I know who's working in this stall. I know who's like doing this. Right? And like, and it's like, man, these people are doing this. I'm like, let's go talk to them. Let's have like a fucking like meeting or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's like chill. Like figure out like where the in between is. Like that's what this city's about. It's not about like, yo, I'm coming on duty and let me see how many like warrants I can apprehend and like be a like a badass. Like, no, fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
We also have the issue of, you know, obviously it's has a lot more repercussions, does a lot more harm than good to mandate that BCSL officers or deputies patrol in Blaine County a certain amount, because they won't want to do it. There's not that much happening, and so there's other ways to incentivize people to, you know, spend time in Blaine County, and that's kind of what Mumbles is doing with trying to make Grapeseed a hub and trying to bring people into Blaine County to require policing. So it's not just police patrolling the 3 people who live there. But the thing that they're contending with now is that Mumbles needs to pick a sheriff who would be receptive to that kind of thing. And I was thinking about all of the sheriff candidates, and I know you might disagree with this. Yep. Oh my goodness.
Oh God!
Wait, yeah, someone's pulling. I think someone saw us here and might be pulling a weapon or something. So just be mindful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me just a sec. I got to think about something.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right, I'm back. All right, sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right. I was just thinking that, you know, this is Parsons. It's possible that everyone just saw a hallucination and that's why they're running around.
Yeah, that is true.
Yep.
All right.
I was saying, we need to find a sheriff who is willing to do stuff like that. And I know you might disagree with this.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about the candidates, and all I could think, the only person that I could think of who would say no to that, depending on the day, is Kean McNulty.
I like McNulty.
It's, you know, I really want to. He doesn't like me, and that makes things more difficult.
Wait, why?
It's hard to see past how he acts with me. Because
wait, what the fuck?
I really have no idea why. I think he just, you know, he's just always very, very harsh and does not. You know, I hear other people talk about how he acts and how he's got that strict voice, but you know, he's not always serious. But no, he is always serious with me, and I will say that the reason, to some extent, that he doesn't like me is that twice a couple months ago, like a week apart. There were 2 times where people, people I hadn't met, met a princess for the first time and decided we should lock her in the tower because, that's what people do with princesses. I don't know. It seems kind of derivative. But 2 times in a week, I got locked on top of a very tall building, and I called 911, and McNulty was the only one on duty who had an Air 1 cert. So twice he had to take out Air 1 to rescue me from the top of a building. And he got very, very annoyed about it. He called me a cat in a tree.
From what I've seen, McNulty can be harsh. I think also he is more adrenaline focused than would be perfect. But I think he's someone that you could probably work with. But at the end of the day, there is no perfect choice.
Anyone else, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If I were the one to go up to him and ask him, hey, we want every BCSO deputy to fish up 3 pufferfish, and if they don't, they will get legitimate consequences, I can tell you, guaranteed 100%, he would say, no, you're a moron. To me, at least. If Delver brings it up, maybe different.